I'm so glad you found your way here. Your body is exhausted right now. Muscles heavy, eyes tired, energy spent. But your mind won't let you rest. Tonight, you'll discover why your brain and body sometimes disagree about sleep. And by the end, you'll understand why rest isn't about being tired enough. It's about feeling safe enough. Welcome to Get Sleepy Science. Wherever you are right now, perhaps lying in bed with heavy limbs but a racing mind, or sitting in the quiet dark, wondering why exhaustion doesn't equal sleep, allow yourself this moment of exploration. We'll drift through 100 sleepy science facts about the paradox of exhaustion, from the body that's ready to shut down, to the brain that refuses to turn off, to the moment when both finally agree that rest is safe. These quiet journeys through science create a community of peaceful minds. A gentle like, subscribe, or sharing your thoughts in the comments helps other exhausted souls discover this space and brings us closer to protecting it. One sleepy soul at a time. It means the universe to us. Settle deeper into your pillows now. Let your shoulders drop. Your breathing slow and steady. You don't need to solve this paradox tonight. Just feel that peaceful heaviness spreading through you, like your body finally getting permission to stop holding on, drifting gently toward the rest you've been seeking. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're floating where exhaustion and wakefulness meet in gentle darkness. Let your mind merge with infinite peace. And now we begin. Your body can be completely exhausted while your brain remains wide awake. This isn't contradiction or failure. It's two different systems operating independently. Physical fatigue happens when muscles run low on energy and tissues need repair. Mental alertness runs on different fuel. Stress hormones and vigilance circuits that respond to perceived threats rather than physical state. Scientists call this tired but wired, where exhaustion and alertness coexist. It reveals something important. Rest isn't automatic. It requires agreement between body and mind. And that agreement doesn't always happen easily. Understanding this mismatch is the first step toward resolving it. Physical exhaustion shows up in measurable ways throughout your body. Your muscles accumulate metabolic waste products, like lactic acid, from the day's activities. Your heart rate gradually increases slightly as your cardiovascular system works harder to move blood through tired tissues. Your cellular energy currency, molecules called ATP, gets depleted in muscle fibers, making movements feel heavier and more effortful. Even your posture changes as fatigue sets in, with shoulders drooping and head tilting forward. These are real, physical markers of a body that needs rest. Medical researchers can measure these signs with precise instruments, tracking the biochemical signatures of exhaustion. Yet, none of these physical signals automatically trigger sleep. They create sleep pressure, a biological urge toward rest. But that pressure can be overridden by your brain's alertness systems. Mental alertness operates through different brain chemicals than physical fatigue. While your muscles are signaling exhaustion through adenosine buildup and energy depletion, your brain might be flooding with cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones that keep you vigilant and awake. These chemicals don't care how tired your body feels. They respond to perceived threats, unfinished tasks, emotional concerns, and mental loops of worry. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that stress hormones can remain elevated for hours after a stressful event ends. keeping the brain in alert mode even as the body winds down. This explains why you can feel physically drained after a long day, yet lie awake thinking about tomorrow's problems. Your adrenal system is still responding to psychological stressors, producing chemicals that naturally block sleep signals. Your brain has a built-in security system that prioritizes alertness over rest, deep in the brainstem. A network of neurons called the reticular activating system acts like a vigilance switch. This system scans for threats, monitors your environment, and keeps you conscious when it detects anything that might require attention. For most of human history, this system helped us survive. Sleeping while dangers lurked nearby meant you might not wake up. Even now, this ancient system operates automatically, evaluating whether it's safe to shut down. If your mind is processing worries, replaying difficult conversations, or anticipating tomorrow's challenges, the reticular activating system interprets these mental activities as reasons to stay alert. It doesn't distinguish between a physical threat and a psychological one. A looming deadline activates the same vigilance circuits as a predator once did. Sleep pressure and sleepability are two different things. Sleep pressure is the biological drive that builds throughout the day as adenosine accumulates in your brain. This chemical gradually increases feelings of drowsiness, making your eyelids heavy and your thoughts fuzzy. By evening, most people have substantial sleep pressure. Their bodies are primed for rest, but sleepability requires something else: the deactivation of wakefulness systems. Your brain must actively turn off alertness circuits, quiet threat detection networks, and shift into a state where consciousness can safely dissolve. Sleep scientists have found that people with chronic stress often have high sleep pressure but low sleepability. They're exhausted, but their brain's alertness systems remain engaged. This creates the exhausting paradox: desperately wanting sleep that won't arrive, having the need for rest but not the access to it. Your body runs on a 24-hour clock, but your mind can get stuck in an endless workday. Circadian rhythms govern physical processes like body temperature, hormone release, and cellular repair. These rhythms follow the sun, preparing your body for sleep when darkness falls. But your brain's cognitive systems don't automatically shut down with sunset. They respond to mental demands, emotional states, and perceived obligations. In modern life, your mind might still be processing work emails at midnight, worrying about relationships at 2 a.m., or planning tomorrow's tasks at 3 a.m. Your body knows it's nighttime. Your core temperature has dropped. Melatonin is circulating. Sleep pressure is high, but your mind hasn't received the memo. It's still in daytime mode, solving problems and scanning for threats. This disconnect creates the strange experience of physical exhaustion meeting mental activation. Muscle fatigue doesn't translate to brain fatigue. After a physically demanding day, your muscles are depleted, your joints ache, and your body feels heavy with exhaustion. You might assume this physical tiredness would automatically lead to mental tiredness and easy sleep. But neuroscience research shows that physical exertion and mental fatigue activate different brain regions. Physical exercise actually increases certain alertness chemicals in the short term, which is why athletes often feel energized immediately after workouts despite physical tiredness. Mental fatigue, on the other hand, comes from sustained cognitive effort, emotional processing, and decision-making. You can have one without the other. A construction worker who's physically exhausted might sleep easily, while an office worker who barely moved all day might lie awake with an overactive mind. Your nervous system has two modes: sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic system is your go mode. It activates alertness, increases heart rate, sharpens focus, and prepares you for action. The parasympathetic system is your rest mode. It slows heart rate, promotes digestion, relaxes muscles, and enables sleep. These two systems are supposed to take turns throughout the day, but chronic stress can leave your sympathetic system stuck in the on position. Even when you're sitting still, trying to relax, your nervous system might still be running emergency protocols. Your body might be motionless, but internally, you're physiologically prepared for action. Blood pressure stays elevated. Muscles remain tense. Breathing stays shallow. This sympathetic dominance creates the feeling of being tired but unable to rest. Exhaustion itself can become a source of stress that prevents sleep. When you're desperately tired but can't fall asleep, frustration builds. You watch the clock, calculate how many hours of sleep you might still get, and worry about how tomorrow will feel. This worry gently activates your stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, chemicals that naturally block sleep signals. Sleep research shows that sleep-related anxiety is one of the strongest predictors of chronic insomnia. The more you worry about not sleeping, the more your brain stays alert to monitor whether sleep is happening. It's a difficult loop. Exhaustion creates anxiety. Anxiety creates alertness. Alertness prevents the rest that would relieve the exhaustion. Your body is ready, but your mind is locked in a monitoring mode, constantly checking if sleep has arrived yet. So yes, you can feel drained while your body won't rest. And now you're beginning to understand why. Physical exhaustion and mental alertness aren't opposites. They're separate systems that sometimes run at the same time. Your body accumulates fatigue through cellular processes, muscle use, and energy depletion. Your brain maintains alertness through threat detection circuits, stress hormones, and mental activity. When these two systems disagree, you experience the paradox: heavy limbs, drooping eyelids, deep exhaustion, yet your mind races. Your thoughts spiral, and sleep feels impossibly far away. This isn't weakness or failure. It's your design responding to modern conditions it wasn't built for. Understanding this mismatch is the first step toward resolving it. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, even though it's only 2% of your body weight. This small organ is incredibly energy hungry, constantly burning glucose to maintain consciousness, process information, and run survival systems. When your body is physically exhausted, it's often because muscles have used up their energy reserves. But your brain might still have plenty of fuel. As long as glucose is available in your bloodstream, your brain can keep operating at full capacity. This is why you can feel physically wiped out, yet mentally sharp and alert. Your body is running on empty, but your brain is still fully powered. Neuroscience research shows that mental activity barely decreases when physical energy is depleted. Your brain will keep running its programs: worry, planning, analyzing, regardless of how tired the rest of you feels. Modern life keeps your brain in work mode long after your body has clocked out. Throughout human history, when the sun set and darkness fell, there wasn't much to do. Social interaction wound down, physical labor stopped, and sleep became the natural next activity. But electric lighting, screens, and constant connectivity mean your brain can stay engaged 24 hours a day. You can work on a laptop at midnight, scroll through news at 2 a.m., or respond to messages at 3 a.m. Your body still follows ancient rhythms, preparing for sleep when darkness comes. But your mind has been trained to ignore these signals, to push through tiredness, to stay productive regardless of the hour. Sleep research indicates that many people's last screen interaction happens less than 30 minutes before attempting sleep. Your body is ready to rest hours before your brain finishes its workday. Emotional exhaustion is particularly good at keeping you awake despite physical tiredness. When you've had a difficult day emotionally, conflicts, disappointments, grief, frustration, your body might feel heavy and drained, but your brain is busy processing those emotions, replaying conversations, analyzing what went wrong, preparing defensive responses. This emotional processing activates the limbic system, particularly a structure called the amygdala. The amygdala is your emotional alarm system, and it doesn't quiet down easily. Neuroscience research shows that emotional arousal can keep the amygdala active for hours, even while you're trying to sleep. You might be physically exhausted from crying, from tension, from the sheer weight of difficult feelings, but your brain is still emotionally activated, still working through what happened, still generating stress chemicals that block rest. Your body has a built-in sleepiness signal that your brain can simply ignore. Throughout the day, a chemical called adenosine builds up in your brain as neurons use energy. Adenosine binds to receptors that make you feel progressively drowsier. This is sleep pressure. By evening, adenosine levels are high, creating that heavy, drowsy feeling that signals bedtime. But adenosine is just one voice in a complex system. If your brain's alertness chemicals are louder, cortisol from stress, adrenaline from anxiety, dopamine from mental stimulation, they can drown out adenosine's sleepiness signal. It's like having someone whisper it's time to sleep while others shout, "Stay alert." The sleep signal is present, but it's not being heard. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, which is why coffee temporarily reduces drowsiness. But chronic stress does something similar. It makes your brain less responsive to its own sleepiness signals. Decision fatigue during the day can create mental hyperactivity at night. Every choice you make, from what to eat for breakfast to how to handle a work problem, depletes a mental resource called cognitive control. By evening, your ability to make deliberate decisions is exhausted. But here's the paradox. When cognitive control weakens, your mind often becomes more active, not less. Without the mental energy to direct your thoughts, they begin to wander and loop on their own. Worries you successfully suppressed during the day resurface. Problems you tabled for later demand attention. Your exhausted mind doesn't quiet down. It loses the ability to quiet itself. Research shows that people with high daytime decision demands often report more nighttime rumination. Their bodies are exhausted from a long day, but their minds are finally free to process everything they'd pushed aside. Your body might be still, but your nervous system might be in motion, even when you're lying in bed, not moving a muscle. your internal state can be one of activation. Heart rate variability, the tiny variations in time between heartbeats, reveals whether your nervous system is in rest mode or alert mode. People who feel tired but wired often show low heart rate variability, indicating their nervous system is still in a state of readiness despite physical stillness. Their hearts beat in a more rigid, stressed pattern, even as their bodies lie motionless. Breathing stays shallow and slightly rapid rather than deepening into the slow, diaphragmatic rhythm of relaxation. Muscle tension persists in the jaw, shoulders, and abdomen. From the outside, you look like you're resting. From the inside, your nervous system hasn't gotten the message. Your brain has a network that becomes more active when you try to rest. It's called the default mode network, or DMN, and it activates when you're not focused on external tasks. The DMN is responsible for self-reflection, memory consolidation, and mind wandering. Interestingly, this network, which helps you process the day, can sometimes become overactive at night, generating an endless stream of thoughts about yourself, your life, your relationships, your future. Brain imaging studies show that people with insomnia often have hyperactive default mode networks during sleep attempts. The very network that should help you process experiences and prepare for rest instead keeps you awake with constant mental activity. Your body is ready to shut down, but your brain's introspective network is just getting started, trying to make sense of your life in ways that unfortunately require staying awake. Physical pain and physical exhaustion don't cancel each other out. Many people with chronic pain also experience profound fatigue. Their bodies are working constantly to manage discomfort, which is exhausting. But pain activates alertness systems in the brain, even mild. Chronic discomfort keeps your nervous system in a gentle state of awareness, monitoring sensations, which can make deep relaxation more difficult. Pain signals travel through pathways that activate the same stress circuits as psychological threats. Your body might be exhausted from managing pain all day, but your brain remains alert, tracking the discomfort, anticipating its changes, unable to fully let go. Research shows that chronic pain patients often experience the tired but wired phenomenon. Their physical exhaustion is profound, but pain's alerting effect on the nervous system prevents the rest they desperately need. Your blood sugar levels can affect the mismatch between exhaustion and alertness. When blood sugar drops too low, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to raise it back up. These are the same hormones that keep you alert and awake. If you go to bed hungry, or if you've eaten foods that cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, your body might release these alertness chemicals in the middle of the night. Your body is exhausted and ready for sleep, but your bloodstream is suddenly flooded with chemicals designed to wake you up and get you looking for food. This creates that difficult feeling of being deeply tired yet wide awake. Heart beating slightly faster. Mind suddenly active. It's not psychological. It's your body's survival system responding to low fuel, creating wakefulness as a solution to what it perceives as an emergency. Temperature regulation plays a surprising role in the sleep paradox. Your body needs to drop its core temperature slightly to fall asleep. This is why you feel naturally drowsy in cool rooms. But stress and anxiety can interfere with this temperature drop. When your nervous system is activated, blood vessels constrict, trapping heat in your core. You might feel simultaneously exhausted and uncomfortably warm, unable to find a comfortable sleeping temperature. Research from neuroscience laboratories has found that people with insomnia often have slightly elevated core temperatures at night. Their bodies are ready for sleep in every other way. But the temperature signal is wrong. The cooling that should trigger sleep onset doesn't happen, or happens too slowly. You're tired. You're lying down. But your body temperature is sending a daytime signal that keeps your brain alert. Unfinished tasks create a mental loop that keeps you awake despite exhaustion. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency to remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. Your brain naturally holds onto unfinished business, keeping it active in memory so you don't forget to complete it. This evolutionary trait helped our ancestors remember to finish building shelter or return to a food source. But in modern life, we often go to bed with dozens of incomplete tasks. Unanswered emails, unresolved conflicts, projects in progress, decisions pending. Your body is exhausted and ready for sleep, but your brain is maintaining an active list of what's unfinished. Each incomplete task is a small source of mental activation. Together, they create enough cognitive noise to prevent the quiet your mind needs for sleep. Hypervigilance becomes a habit that outlasts the dangers that created it. If you've been through extended periods of stress, whether from work pressure, relationship difficulties, financial strain, or trauma, your brain learned to stay alert, to scan for problems, to anticipate threats. This vigilance was useful when dangers were present, but the brain doesn't easily unlearn protective habits. Even when circumstances improve, your nervous system might remain in high alert mode. Research shows that people who experienced chronic stress show persistent hypervigilance patterns even months after stressors resolved. Their bodies were exhausted, their lives had calmed, but their brains hadn't received permission to relax. The watchfulness continued automatically, keeping them in a state of readiness that prevented rest. Your breath reveals the conflict between body and mind. When you're physically exhausted but mentally alert, your breathing pattern shows the contradiction. Physical tiredness should deepen breathing, creating slow, full breaths from the diaphragm. But mental alertness keeps breathing shallow and chest-based, a pattern associated with stress and readiness. You might sigh frequently, a sign that your body is trying to reset breathing patterns but can't maintain the deeper rhythm. Respiratory researchers have found that people with insomnia breathe faster and shallower at night compared to good sleepers. Even when lying perfectly still, your body wants to breathe the slow rhythm of rest. Your brain keeps breathing in the quick pattern of alertness. Every breath is a negotiation between two different states. Social exhaustion creates its own particular form of tired alertness. After days of social interaction, emotional labor, or caretaking, your social batteries are drained. You feel profound exhaustion from the effort of being on for others. But this exhaustion often comes with mental activation, replaying conversations, analyzing how you were perceived, worrying about relationships, processing emotional dynamics. Your body is exhausted from the physical presence and emotional engagement, but your brain is busy performing post-social analysis, which keeps you alert despite tiredness. Research on social fatigue shows that socially exhausting days often lead to poor sleep, not because of physical tiredness, but because of ongoing mental processing of social information. Your body finished the interaction. Your brain is still there, replaying and analyzing. We've traveled from physical exhaustion to mental alertness, discovering along the way that these aren't opposite states, but independent systems. Your muscles can be depleted while your brain floods with stress chemicals. Your body can follow its ancient sleep rhythms while your mind stays locked in modern worries. Sleep pressure can build throughout the day, creating profound drowsiness, while alertness systems override those signals with vigilance and activation. This is the mismatch, the paradox of feeling drained while your body won't rest. It's not one system failing. It's two systems disagreeing about what's safe, what's urgent, what's needed now. Understanding this disagreement is essential, because the solution isn't about being more tired. It's about helping both systems agree that rest is possible. Let's pause here and notice your body. As you breathe out slowly, appreciate each tiny cell inside. Trillions of organisms working in silence. Heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. You are a complete ecosystem, diverse, self-balancing. Now we continue. Physical fatigue is a chemical process happening in your muscles and cells. When you use your muscles throughout the day, they burn through ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is your body's energy currency. As ATP gets used up, byproducts accumulate: lactic acid in muscles, metabolic waste in tissues, damage to cellular structures that need repair. This creates the physical sensations of exhaustion: heaviness, soreness, reduced strength, slower movements. By evening, your body has concrete, measurable reasons to rest. Muscle cells need to rebuild energy stores. Tissues need to clear waste products. Cellular damage needs repair. This physical exhaustion is real and objective. Medical tests can measure it through blood markers, muscle fatigue assessments, and cellular analysis. Your body's exhaustion isn't imagined or exaggerated. It's biochemical fact. Mental alertness runs on a completely different fuel system than physical energy. While your muscles are depleted and signaling for rest, your brain might be running on high levels of cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine, chemicals that create wakefulness and vigilance. These chemicals don't respond to your body's physical state. They respond to perception, what your brain interprets as threatening, urgent, or unresolved. Neuroscience studies show that cognitive stress can maintain alertness chemicals for hours, even when physical energy is completely depleted. Your body can be objectively exhausted, while your brain chemistry creates a state of full alertness. It's not mind over matter. It's two different biochemical systems operating independently. One says rest. The other says remain alert. Neither is wrong. They're just responding to different inputs. Adenosine is your body's sleepiness chemical, building up steadily from the moment you wake. As your brain neurons fire throughout the day, using energy to think, process, and function, they produce adenosine as a byproduct. Adenosine gradually accumulates in your brain, binding to receptors that slow neural activity and promote drowsiness. This is sleep pressure. the biological force that makes you progressively sleepier as the day goes on. By evening, adenosine levels are high enough to make most people feel genuinely tired. This system works reliably in almost everyone. But adenosine creates sleep pressure, not sleep itself. It makes you feel drowsy, but it can't force you to sleep if other systems are keeping you alert. Think of adenosine as turning down the volume on wakefulness. But if alertness systems are loud enough, you'll still hear them over adenosine's quieting effect. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone, and it's supposed to follow a daily rhythm. Normally, cortisol peaks in the morning, helping you wake up and feel alert. It gradually declines throughout the day, reaching its lowest point around midnight when sleep should happen. But chronic stress disrupts this rhythm. When you're dealing with ongoing pressure, worry, or difficulty, your body releases cortisol at the wrong times. Studies show that people with chronic stress often have elevated cortisol at night, exactly when it should be lowest. This creates the tired but wired state. Your body has completed its daily cycle and should be shutting down. But cortisol in your bloodstream is sending a completely opposite message. Stay alert. There's danger. Rest isn't safe. The physical exhaustion is real. The chemical alertness is real too. Your sympathetic nervous system is like an accelerator pedal, while your parasympathetic system is the brake. The sympathetic system activates your stress response, increasing heart rate, releasing alertness chemicals, sharpening focus, preparing muscles for action. It's designed to help you respond to immediate threats. The parasympathetic system does the opposite. It slows heart rate, promotes digestion, relaxes muscles, and enables rest and repair. These two systems are supposed to balance each other throughout the day, but they can get out of balance. Chronic stress can leave the accelerator stuck partially down. Even when you're trying to rest, your body might be motionless, but internally, your sympathetic system is still running. Blood pressure stays slightly elevated. Heart rate won't fully slow. Breathing stays quick and shallow. Mental fatigue and physical fatigue activate different parts of your brain. Researchers using brain imaging technology have found that physical exhaustion primarily affects motor cortex regions, the parts of your brain that control movement. But mental fatigue affects the prefrontal cortex, which handles decision-making, planning, and focus. A day of physical labor might leave your motor regions depleted while your prefrontal cortex stays active. Conversely, a day of cognitive work might exhaust your prefrontal cortex while your motor regions remain energized. This explains why some types of tiredness lead to easy sleep while others don't. If your prefrontal cortex is exhausted but still activated by stress or worry, it can prevent sleep even when your body is physically tired. Adrenaline is your body's emergency chemical, and it doesn't distinguish between real and perceived threats. When you face a deadline, anticipate a difficult conversation, or worry about tomorrow, your body releases adrenaline just as it would if you were facing physical danger. Adrenaline increases heart rate, diverts blood to muscles, sharpens sensory perception, and creates a state of heightened readiness. This response is supposed to be brief, lasting minutes during an actual emergency, then fading quickly. But modern sources of stress tend to be chronic rather than acute. Your brain might release small amounts of adrenaline throughout the evening as you think about tomorrow's challenges. Each worry trigger is a small adrenaline pulse. Together, they keep your system activated. Sleep isn't just one state. It's a carefully orchestrated sequence your brain must actively create. Falling asleep requires your brain to deactivate multiple alertness systems. The reticular activating system that maintains consciousness, the amygdala that monitors for threats, the default mode network that generates thoughts. Then your brain must activate sleep-promoting regions. The ventrolateral preoptic nucleus that releases sleep chemicals, the suprachiasmatic nucleus that tracks your circadian clock. This transition is complex and requires coordination. When you're stressed or anxious, some systems refuse to deactivate. Your reticular activating system stays vigilant. Your amygdala remains alert. Your default mode network keeps generating thoughts. Meanwhile, your body is sending strong signals for sleep. The sleep-promoting regions are trying to activate, but a few critical systems won't shut down. And that's enough to prevent the transition. Your body repairs itself during sleep through multiple chemical processes that only activate during rest. Growth hormone is released primarily during deep sleep, helping muscles recover and tissues heal. The glymphatic system, your brain's waste clearance mechanism, is 10 times more active during sleep than wakefulness, flushing out metabolic waste that accumulated during the day. Cellular repair processes speed up when you're unconscious, fixing damage throughout your body. These are the reasons your body needs sleep, and they create very real physical consequences when rest doesn't happen. But here's the challenge. Your body being ready for repair doesn't automatically trigger the brain state changes needed for sleep. Your cells might be desperate for the repair work that only sleep allows. Your brain might still be maintaining alertness that prevents sleep from starting. Melatonin signals that it's time to sleep, but it doesn't create sleep directly. As darkness falls, your pineal gland releases melatonin into your bloodstream. Melatonin makes you feel drowsy and helps lower your core body temperature. Both important preparation for sleep, but melatonin is a signal, not a switch. It tells your body nighttime has arrived, but it can't force your brain to deactivate alertness systems. This is why melatonin supplements help some people but not others. If your challenge is that your body doesn't know it's nighttime, perhaps due to irregular schedules or light exposure, melatonin can help by providing the missing signal. But if stress chemicals are overriding sleep signals, adding more melatonin won't solve it. Your body might be receiving a clear time to sleep message while your brain's alertness systems are responding to different information entirely. Your heart rate variability reveals whether you're truly relaxing or just lying still. HRV measures the tiny variations in time between heartbeats. When you're relaxed and in parasympathetic mode, these variations are high. Your heart speeds up slightly on inhale, slows on exhale, showing flexibility and responsiveness. When you're stressed and in sympathetic mode, HRV is low. Your heart beats in a more rigid, machine-like pattern, showing that your nervous system is locked in alert mode. Studies using wearable monitors found that people who reported feeling tired but wired had significantly lower HRV at bedtime compared to good sleepers. Their physical stillness looked like rest from the outside, but their internal state was one of activation and stress. Your nervous system can't be fooled into resting just because your body is lying down. Chronic pain creates a particular type of energy depletion while also preventing rest. Managing pain requires constant mental resources. Your brain is continuously processing discomfort signals, adjusting movements to avoid worsening pain, allocating attention to track where pain is and how intense it feels. This mental effort is exhausting. By evening, people with chronic pain are often profoundly depleted from the cognitive work of managing discomfort all day. But pain also activates threat detection systems in the brain, even moderate. Chronic pain keeps the insular and anterior cingulate cortex, regions that process threat and suffering, in a state of heightened activity. These regions share circuits with systems that maintain alertness and prevent sleep. Your body is exhausted from the work of managing pain. Your brain is alert because pain is still signaling something that needs attention. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain, essentially silencing your body's natural sleepiness signal. But here's something important. Caffeine doesn't reduce the adenosine that's accumulated. It just prevents you from feeling its effects. When caffeine wears off, all that blocked adenosine suddenly hits your system at once. This is why caffeine withdrawal or late-day crashes feel so intense. Your body has been sleepy for hours, but the signal was blocked. Now it's all coming through. But if you're also experiencing stress, the crash gets complicated. You simultaneously feel the delayed adenosine sleepiness and the stress chemical alertness. Your body is overwhelmed with conflicting signals. Profound drowsiness from adenosine, sharp alertness from cortisol and adrenaline. Muscular relaxation and nervous system calm are related but distinct. You can train yourself to release muscle tension through progressive relaxation, breathing exercises, or stretching. Your body might be lying in bed with no muscular tension whatsoever. Jaw loose, shoulders soft, limbs heavy. But this doesn't automatically shift your nervous system into parasympathetic mode. Your autonomic nervous system responds to perceived safety and threat, not just muscle state. Progressive relaxation techniques affect the voluntary muscle system, but your involuntary stress response operates independently, responding to perceived safety rather than physical stillness. This explains why relaxation exercises sometimes help and sometimes don't. They address one system but not necessarily the other. Your body can achieve complete physical stillness while internal activation persists. Two different batteries, two different charges. Your body runs on physical energy. ATP in cells, glucose in blood, recovered muscle fibers, cleared metabolic waste. This battery depletes through physical activity and recharges through rest, nutrition, and sleep. Your brain's alertness system runs on a different battery. Stress hormones, threat perception, unresolved concerns, activated neural networks. This battery depletes through resolution, safety, completion, and psychological rest. You can fully drain the physical battery while the alertness battery remains charged. This is the core of the mismatch. Your body is running on empty, signaling desperately for sleep so it can recharge. Your brain's alertness system has plenty of power left, maintaining vigilance because it perceives reasons to stay alert. You can't recharge one battery with the charger meant for the other. You're still here, still awake, still drifting with us through these stories. Take a slow breath. Notice how your body feels a little lighter now, as if the weight of exhaustion has softened just slightly. We're traveling through science together. You and I and everyone listening in the quiet dark. floating through facts like thoughts drifting through the void. There's no rush, no destination, just the gentle momentum of curiosity carrying us forward. Let's continue. Worry is a form of problem solving that your brain mistakes for actual problem solving. When you lie awake thinking through tomorrow's challenges, replaying today's difficulties, or anticipating future problems, your brain is attempting to find solutions. It's running simulation after simulation, testing different responses, preparing for various outcomes. This feels productive to your brain. It's doing the work it evolved to do. But worry rarely produces actual solutions. It just creates mental activity. And mental activity creates alertness. Your body is desperately tired and needs sleep. Your brain believes it's working on something important and refuses to stop. The exhaustion is mounting. The problem solving is going nowhere. But your brain interprets the ongoing worry as necessary vigilance. Something that can't be set aside until it's resolved. Your brain has a negativity bias that keeps you alert to threats even when you're exhausted. Throughout evolution, paying attention to dangers was more important for survival than paying attention to safety. Missing a potential danger had serious consequences. Missing a chance to relax simply meant continuing a bit longer. So your brain developed an automatic tendency to notice, remember, and focus on negative information more than positive. This bias means that even when 99 things are fine, your brain focuses on the one thing that's wrong. At night, when you're trying to sleep, this negativity bias scans through your day and your future, pulling out concerns and amplifying them. Your body knows that everything survived today. You made it through. You're safe in bed. Immediate dangers have passed. But your brain is highlighting every potential threat, every unresolved concern, every possible future problem. Unresolved emotions activate the same brain regions as physical threats. When you go to bed with anger, grief, anxiety, or hurt that hasn't been processed, your limbic system, particularly the amygdala, remains activated. The amygdala is your emotional alarm system, and it doesn't easily stand down. Brain imaging studies show that unprocessed emotional content can keep the amygdala firing for hours, sometimes throughout the night. Your body might be still and exhausted, but your amygdala is treating emotional distress as an ongoing emergency, releasing stress chemicals and maintaining alertness. This is why difficult days so often lead to sleepless nights. The physical events have ended. The emotional processing hasn't. Your body is ready to rest. Your emotional brain is still in crisis mode, unable to relax until somehow the feeling is resolved. Perfectionism creates a particular type of alertness that prevents rest. If you hold yourself to very high standards, your brain constantly monitors for ways you might fall short. This monitoring system doesn't shut off at night. Instead, it reviews the day for mistakes, anticipates tomorrow's performance demands, and generates anxiety about not being good enough. Researchers studying perfectionism and sleep found that perfectionistic individuals have significantly higher rates of insomnia. Their bodies are exhausted from trying to meet impossible standards all day, but their brains can't stop evaluating, criticizing, and preparing to do better tomorrow. The exhaustion is profound. Perfectionism requires immense mental energy, but the internal critic won't rest. It stays active, maintaining alertness through evaluation and worry. Rumination is different from problem solving, but your brain has trouble distinguishing them. Problem solving is purposeful thinking that moves toward solutions. Rumination is repetitive thinking that circles the same concerns without progress. When you lie awake going over the same worry repeatedly, you're ruminating, but your brain experiences this as important cognitive work that shouldn't be interrupted. Research shows that people who ruminate at night show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with active thinking and problem solving. Their brains are genuinely working hard, consuming energy, maintaining alertness. The work just isn't productive. It's like walking on a treadmill and calling it a journey. There's real effort and energy expenditure, but no actual progress. Anticipatory anxiety creates alertness hours before anything challenging actually happens. If you're worried about tomorrow, a difficult conversation, a deadline, a medical appointment, your brain begins preparing long in advance. This preparation includes releasing stress chemicals, increasing alertness, and running mental simulations of the challenging event. These are useful preparations if they happen briefly before the actual event. But anticipatory anxiety can activate these systems the night before, or even days before. Your body is lying in bed tonight, perfectly safe, with nothing threatening happening now, but your brain is already living tomorrow, already facing the challenge, already releasing chemicals designed to help you handle it. The threat is hours away. The stress response is happening now. Your brain can become adapted to its own stress chemicals. When you live with chronic stress, your brain adjusts to high levels of cortisol and adrenaline. These become your baseline normal. Interestingly, when stress decreases and you finally have a chance to rest, your brain can interpret the absence of stress chemicals as something unusual. You might feel restless, anxious, or on edge precisely when you have permission to relax. Some people unconsciously create mental stress, worrying, ruminating, anticipating problems, partly because their brain has become accustomed to the stimulation of stress chemicals. This explains why relaxation can sometimes feel uncomfortable or even anxiety-provoking. Your body recognizes the opportunity for rest and tries to take it. Your brain, accustomed to high-stimulation chemistry, generates mental activity to restore familiar activation levels. Hyperarousal is a state where your entire system is calibrated to a higher baseline of alertness. After extended periods of stress, trauma, or chronic anxiety, your nervous system can get stuck in a heightened state of responsiveness. Small sounds startle you more than they should. Minor stressors create outsized reactions. Your resting heart rate is slightly elevated. Your muscle tension never fully releases. Sleep researchers describe chronic insomnia as fundamentally a hyperarousal condition. The body isn't refusing rest out of spite. It's stuck in a state where the baseline for calm is actually mild alertness. What feels like trying to relax is still more activated than a healthy resting state. Your body goes through the motions of preparing for sleep, but the internal state never reaches the low arousal needed for sleep to actually begin. Control and sleep are incompatible. Yet exhaustion often increases attempts to control. When you're desperate for sleep, you might try harder to make it happen. Controlling your position, controlling your breathing, monitoring your thoughts, checking if sleep is arriving yet. But sleep requires surrender, not control. The harder you try to make yourself sleep, the more activated your monitoring systems become. You're watching yourself, evaluating your state, checking for progress. All of this is mental activity that maintains alertness. Research on approaches to insomnia shows that sometimes the instruction "try to stay awake" helps people fall asleep faster than try to fall asleep. The attempt to control sleep creates the opposite of sleep. Your body understands this and tries to let go. You're exhausted. Desperate mind tightens its grip, trying to force the rest it needs so badly. Halfway through our journey, the answer is emerging. When your body and brain argue about rest, the disagreement isn't random. It's your design responding to perceived circumstances. Your body tracks physical depletion, energy used, tissues needing attention, cellular processes requiring repair, and signals for rest based on these objective measures. Your brain tracks safety and threat, concerns to monitor, problems to consider, emotions to process, vigilance to maintain, and signals for alertness based on these subjective perceptions. When these two evaluations don't agree, you experience the paradox: exhaustion that signals for rest, alertness that refuses to allow it. The argument continues because both sides believe they're right. Your body is right that rest is needed. Your brain is right that something feels unresolved. Understanding this disagreement doesn't immediately resolve it, but it's the essential first step. Let each breath guide you to realize time is yours, a separate stream that only you are living. While the vast universe continues to spin, expand, change, this second you're breathing, listening, is unique. The worries of tomorrow don't exist yet. The regrets of yesterday are already complete. Right now, in this breath, there is only presence. Cherish this present moment, knowing that right now, your time is unique in the universe. And we continue drifting. Sleep requires your brain to believe that nothing urgently needs your attention right now. This is harder than it sounds. Throughout the day, your brain categorizes information as important or unimportant, urgent or deferrable, resolved or still pending. At night, for sleep to occur, your brain must effectively decide that everything on the pending list can wait until tomorrow. But modern life creates endless lists of pending concerns. Emails not answered, conversations not finished, problems not solved, decisions not made. Each one is a small cognitive flag that your brain tracks. For sleep to begin, your brain must essentially say all of this can wait. But if even one item feels too important, too urgent, too unresolved, your brain maintains a baseline level of alertness to keep tracking it. Your brain distinguishes between physical safety and psychological safety, and both matter for sleep. You might be physically safe, in a secure building, in a comfortable bed, with no actual threats nearby. Physical safety allows your body to prepare for rest. But psychological safety is different. It's the sense that emotionally, socially, and mentally, you're okay. That tomorrow is manageable. That your relationships are secure. That your responsibilities aren't overwhelming. When psychological safety is absent, your brain maintains alertness even in physically safe environments. You're objectively secure, but you don't feel secure. This distinction is important for understanding why comfort alone doesn't guarantee rest. Your body responds to the physical safety and prepares for sleep. Your brain responds to the absence of psychological safety and refuses to shut down. Sleep onset requires a shift from external awareness to internal awareness, then to no awareness. During wakefulness, your attention is directed outward, toward tasks, people, environments, problems. As you prepare for sleep, attention should shift inward, noticing sensations, thoughts, feelings within yourself. Finally, awareness should dissolve entirely into sleep. But stress and anxiety disrupt this progression. Your attention stays stuck in external mode, thinking about work, relationships, tomorrow's demands, or it gets trapped in the internal awareness stage, noticing every sensation, evaluating every thought, monitoring whether sleep is approaching. Neither allows the final release into unconsciousness. Your body is still and ready for the journey inward. Your awareness keeps getting pulled back to external concerns or stuck in self-monitoring. Your brain has neural networks specifically designed to track goals and monitor progress. These networks create satisfaction signals when objectives complete, allowing mental closure, unlike the conscious worry about unfinished tasks. These tracking networks operate beneath awareness. You might not be actively thinking about incomplete work, yet these networks maintain background activation, subtly influencing your alertness state. It's the difference between worrying about a deadline and your brain simply registering that a goal remains open. One is conscious stress, the other is automatic tracking. Both prevent full shutdown. At night, this creates background cognitive load. You're not actively thinking about these tasks, but your brain hasn't filed them as done so. They remain in active memory, creating subtle mental engagement. Emotional processing happens faster during REM sleep than during wakefulness, but you have to fall asleep first to access it. During REM sleep, your brain replays emotional experiences while stress chemical levels are low, allowing you to process feelings without becoming overwhelmed. This is part of why sleep is restorative. It helps you metabolize the emotional content of your day. But here's the challenging irony. Strong emotions can prevent the sleep that would help process them. If you're carrying intense anger, anxiety, grief, or hurt, those emotions activate your limbic system and prevent sleep onset. Your brain needs REM sleep to process the emotions. The emotions prevent you from reaching REM sleep. You're in a situation where exhaustion from emotional intensity prevents the rest that would relieve emotional intensity. Your body prepares for sleep through dozens of small physiological changes, but stress can prevent many of them. Core temperature should drop slightly. Heart rate should slow. Blood pressure should decrease. Breathing should deepen. Muscles should release tension. Digestion should slow. Hormone levels should shift. These changes prepare your body for the transition into sleep. But the sympathetic nervous system can prevent most of these changes from happening completely. Under stress, temperature stays elevated. Heart rate won't fully slow. Breathing stays shallow. Each incomplete change is a signal to your brain that conditions aren't quite right for sleep yet. Your body goes through some of the preparatory sequence, but stress blocks the complete transition. Bedtime rituals work partly by signaling completion of the day to your brain. when you follow a consistent routine before sleep, brushing teeth, changing clothes, dimming lights, you're creating a behavioral boundary between day and night. This ritual tells your brain the workday is over. The concerns of today are complete. Tomorrow is a separate space. But this only works if your brain accepts the boundary. If you're carrying unresolved issues from today, or anticipating tomorrow's demands, the ritual becomes empty gesture. You go through the physical motions, while your mind stays engaged with what was or what will be. Your body completes the bedtime routine and signals readiness for sleep. Your brain sees the ritual but doesn't accept its meaning. Work isn't finished. The day isn't complete. Sleep pressure and sleep opportunity are different things, and you need both. Sleep pressure is the biological drive that builds throughout the day, the adenosine accumulation that makes you drowsy. Sleep opportunity is the circumstance that allows sleep. Being in bed, in darkness, with time available, without demands. Many people have high sleep pressure but low sleep opportunity. Too busy, too many responsibilities, not enough time allocated for rest. But the reverse is also common. High sleep opportunity but an inability to use it. You're in bed with time for sleep. Exhaustion, creating maximum sleep pressure. But mental activation prevents you from accessing the opportunity. Your body has created both the need and the space for rest. Your brain hasn't granted permission to take it. Your brain rehearses potentially challenging scenarios as a form of preparation. But this preparation maintains alertness. If you're concerned about tomorrow's presentation, difficult conversation, or challenging situation, your brain runs mental simulations. It imagines various outcomes, rehearses responses, prepares contingencies. This is helpful in small doses. Mental preparation can improve performance, but excessive rehearsal creates sustained activation. You're lying in bed tonight, but your brain is living tomorrow, over and over, trying to prepare for every possibility. Each mental rehearsal activates stress circuits, releases alertness chemicals, maintains vigilance. Your body is in bed, ready for rest. Your brain is in tomorrow, actively working, unable to stop the rehearsal process. Childhood patterns of threat and safety often determine adult sleep patterns. If you grew up in an environment where vigilance was necessary, chaotic households, unpredictable caregivers, genuine dangers, your brain learned that letting your guard down wasn't safe. That protective hypervigilance served you then. But the brain doesn't easily unlearn protective patterns. Even when circumstances change dramatically, adult life might be objectively safe, but your nervous system is still running childhood safety protocols. At night, when consciousness should dissolve, old patterns maintain alertness. Your body is in a safe present. Your brain is responding to a past that no longer exists but still shapes neural patterns. Sleep is vulnerable, and your brain knows it. During sleep, you're unaware of your environment, unable to respond to threats, temporarily without conscious control. This vulnerability is why sleep only happens when your brain assesses conditions as safe enough to take that risk. Throughout human history, sleeping in genuinely dangerous conditions could be harmful. So your brain evolved sophisticated safety assessment systems that must clear before sleep is permitted. In modern life, the dangers are different. psychological rather than physical. But your brain's safety systems haven't updated. Mental threats trigger the same vigilance as physical ones once did. Your conscious mind knows you're safe enough to sleep. Your unconscious threat detection systems haven't reached the same conclusion. Your glymphatic system, your brain's waste clearance mechanism, only functions optimally during sleep, creating urgent need for rest. Throughout the day, as your neurons fire and your brain processes information, metabolic waste products accumulate. These include proteins that, if not cleared, can contribute to cognitive challenges. During deep sleep, the space between brain cells expands, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through and clear these waste products. This process is 10 times more active during sleep than wakefulness. Your brain needs this clearing process, which is part of why sleep deprivation feels so cognitively impairing. But needing sleep doesn't create sleep. Your glymphatic system is waiting to do essential maintenance work. The cellular waste is accumulating, yet the alertness systems that prevent sleep remain active. Decision fatigue during the day can create what researchers call ego depletion that paradoxically prevents sleep. Self-control and deliberate decision-making require mental resources. By evening, after a day of decisions, inhibiting impulses, and controlling behavior, these resources are depleted. You might expect this depletion to lead to easy sleep. You're too tired to maintain control, so consciousness should simply dissolve. But ego depletion often creates the opposite effect. Without the energy to direct your thoughts, they wander in ways that feel less controlled. Without the resources to suppress worries, they surface more freely. Without the capacity to quiet your mind, it becomes more active rather than less. Your executive control is exhausted, but that exhaustion removes the ability to guide yourself toward rest. Light exposure during the day affects nighttime sleep in ways that become obvious only when they're disrupted. Your circadian system depends on bright light during the day and darkness at night to maintain proper timing. Insufficient daytime light can weaken circadian signals, making your body less certain about when to prepare for sleep. Lighting research shows that people who work in windowless environments or spend most of their time indoors with artificial lighting often have disrupted sleep patterns. Their circadian systems haven't received strong enough daytime signals, so nighttime signals are weaker too. Your body gets mixed messages about when it's really nighttime, when rest is truly appropriate. You might be exhausted and in bed at the right time, but your circadian system hasn't received adequate environmental cues. We now understand that sleep and wakefulness aren't opposite states, but complex processes that can partially coexist. Your brain isn't entirely on or entirely off. Some regions can be in sleep-like states while others remain alert. Some neural networks can be active while others are quiet. This explains phenomena like sleepwalking. The motor systems activate while consciousness remains asleep. It also explains the tired but wired experience. Parts of your brain have transitioned towards sleep. Processing is slowed. Some networks have quieted. Fatigue signals are strong, but other parts remain in waking mode. Threat detection active. Worry, circuits engaged. Alertness chemicals present. You're experiencing a mixed state where sleep and wakefulness coexist uncomfortably. Sleep inertia demonstrates that even successful sleep doesn't mean all systems agree instantly. Sleep inertia is that groggy, confused state when you first wake up, where thinking is slow and coordination is impaired. It occurs because different brain regions wake up at different speeds. Some areas activate quickly while others remain in sleep mode for minutes or even hours. This same principle operates in reverse at sleep onset. Different brain systems shut down at different rates. Some areas of your brain might be ready for sleep while others remain alert. The transition isn't instantaneous or uniform. When you're struggling to fall asleep, it might be that most of your brain is ready, but a few key alertness networks haven't shut down yet. The harder you try to fix your exhaustion, the more alert your problem-solving systems become. When you're desperately tired and can't sleep, you naturally try to solve the challenge. You research approaches, try different techniques, analyze what might be wrong, plan intervention. This is problem solving, which activates your prefrontal cortex and maintains wakefulness. You're trying to address sleeplessness by thinking about sleep. But thinking is the opposite of sleeping. The intention is understandable. The method creates the opposite effect. Your exhaustion is mounting. Your attempts to fix it engage the very cognitive systems that need to deactivate for sleep to occur. It becomes a situation where the worse the challenge gets, the harder you try to fix it, the more your fixing attempts prevent the solution. Pharmaceutical sleep aids work partly by encouraging some of these disagreeing systems to quiet down. Medications enhance the effects of GABA, your brain's main calming neurotransmitter. They essentially turn down activity across wide areas of your brain, including alertness systems that might be resisting sleep. This is why medications can sometimes work when behavioral approaches don't. They influence the disagreement through chemical means. But this comes with considerations. The sleep that results can be different from natural sleep, with altered sleep architecture, and medications don't resolve the underlying disagreement. They just influence it temporarily. When medication stops, the mismatch between exhaustion and alertness often returns. The chemical intervention can provide temporary support, but doesn't teach your system how to achieve natural agreement. Temperature plays a surprisingly precise role in the sleep equation. For sleep to begin, your core body temperature needs to drop by approximately 2 degrees Fahrenheit. This cooling triggers sleep-promoting mechanisms in your hypothalamus. But stress can prevent this temperature drop from occurring sufficiently. When your sympathetic nervous system is activated, blood vessels constrict, trapping heat in your core. You might feel simultaneously exhausted and uncomfortably warm, unable to find a comfortable temperature position. Research shows that people with insomnia often have elevated nighttime core temperatures compared to good sleepers. Their bodies are going through some of the sleep preparation sequence, but the temperature signal isn't quite right. Your body might be exhausted and in bed in a cool room, but your internal temperature isn't giving the full sleep-ready signal. Memory consolidation requires sleep, but concern about memory creates mental activity that prevents sleep. During sleep, especially during slow wave and REM stages, your brain consolidates memories, deciding what to keep, what to release, and how to integrate new information with existing knowledge. This process is essential for learning and cognitive function. Sleep deprivation noticeably affects memory. But here's the paradox. Concern about forgetting something can keep you awake. If you're worried you'll forget important information, your brain tries to actively maintain it in working memory, rehearsing it repeatedly. This rehearsal maintains cognitive activity and alertness. Your brain needs sleep to properly consolidate the information. Your concern about forgetting maintains alertness that prevents the sleep needed for consolidation. Grief and loss create profound exhaustion combined with difficulty resting. The emotional and cognitive work of processing loss is utterly depleting. People in grief often describe feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally drained in ways they've never experienced before. But grief also creates persistent activation of emotional processing networks. Your brain is trying to integrate the reality of loss, to reorganize your understanding of the world and yourself, to process complex emotions. This work continues during rest attempts, maintaining activation in limbic and prefrontal regions. Your body is exhausted from the weight of sorrow. Your brain remains activated by the ongoing work of processing loss. Sleep would help with this processing. Grief does move through REM sleep mechanisms, but the intensity of the grief can prevent the sleep that would help metabolize it. Your digestive system and your sleep system communicate in ways that can create or resolve harmony. Eating close to bedtime, especially heavy or high-sugar foods, activate digestive processes that can interfere with sleep. Your body diverts resources toward digestion, maintains core temperature to support metabolic activity, and releases hormones that influence wakefulness. But hunger can also prevent sleep. Low blood sugar triggers release of cortisol and adrenaline to raise glucose levels, creating alertness. The timing and content of eating either supports or works against sleep preparation. Your body might be exhausted and ready for rest, but digestive processes are sending signals that don't align with sleep signals. Or hunger is creating mild stress responses that maintain alertness. Sleep loss creates sleep anxiety, which creates more sleep loss, forming a self-perpetuating cycle. After several nights of poor sleep, you begin approaching bedtime with concern rather than welcome. The bed becomes associated with frustration, struggle, and wakefulness rather than rest. This conditioning creates anticipatory anxiety. As bedtime approaches, your stress systems activate, your heart rate increases, your mind becomes more alert, stress chemicals rise. You're exhausted and deeply need sleep, but your learned association between bed and stress creates physiological arousal that prevents sleep. Researchers call this conditioned insomnia, sleeplessness that's maintained not by external factors, but by your own nervous system's conditioned response to sleep situations. Your body is ready for rest. Your conditioned response about sleep creates the alertness that prevents what you need most. Chronic sleep disruption can actually change your brain structure over time, making rest more challenging. Brain imaging studies show that extended insomnia is associated with changes in regions of the prefrontal cortex, areas responsible for emotional regulation and cognitive control. The very regions that should help you manage stress and direct attention can become affected. Additionally, the amygdala, your emotional alarm system, can become more responsive after chronic sleep loss, reacting more strongly to stresses. This can create a worsening cycle where sleep loss affects the brain systems that could help you achieve sleep, while enhancing the systems that prevent it. Your exhaustion is real and mounting. The changes from that exhaustion are making rest progressively more challenging to access. The disagreement between body and brain about rest isn't a failure of willpower or weakness of character. It's your nervous system responding to conditions, both present and past, that signal rest isn't fully safe yet. Concerns aren't resolved yet. Vigilance is still needed. Your body tracks physical depletion and urges rest based on that objective need. Your brain tracks psychological safety and permits rest based on that subjective assessment. When these don't align, you experience profound exhaustion coupled with inability to sleep. Understanding this reveals why simple solutions often don't work fully. Just relax doesn't address the fact that your brain has reasons for maintaining alertness. Just sleep isn't possible because sleep requires agreement from systems that are currently disagreeing. The solution requires addressing the root disagreement, helping your brain recognize that rest is safe, even when concerns feel unresolved. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. Thoughts rise and fall. Breath flows in and flows out. Energy depletes and restores. All are circles, cycles, endless patterns, like your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, a small cycle within the vast universe. You are also part of that eternal movement. You don't need to hold on to anything. Let everything unfold in its perfect order, like planets silently rotating in their orbits, unhurried, unresisting, simply existing. We're almost there now. Rest isn't earned through exhaustion. It's allowed through permission. This might be the most important insight for understanding why drained bodies won't rest. Your nervous system doesn't calculate how tired you are and grants sleep based on reaching a threshold. It evaluates safety and grants sleep based on that assessment. You can be desperately, profoundly exhausted, but if your brain detects unfinished business, unresolved emotions, or potential concerns, permission is withheld. The exhaustion becomes less relevant to the decision. This is why pushing yourself harder, staying up longer, or trying to earn rest through greater tiredness doesn't work. You're appealing to the wrong system. Your body already knows you're exhausted. The permission must come from somewhere else. Sleep happens in the transition from doing to being, and that transition requires trust. During wakefulness, you're in doing mode. Solving, planning, controlling, managing. Sleep requires shifting into being mode, simply existing without agenda, without effort, without control. This transition requires trusting that it's okay to stop doing, that concerns can wait, that you'll be okay, even if you're not vigilantly managing everything. For people who've learned that safety requires constant vigilance, this trust feels challenging. Your body is ready to stop doing. Your mind believes stopping carries risk. The transition can't complete without trusting that being, rather than doing, is sometimes the right state. Your body never forgets how to sleep. Sleep is a biological imperative that happens automatically when conditions allow. No one has to learn to sleep. Even people with severe chronic insomnia sleep eventually. Exhaustion ultimately overwhelms alertness, if only briefly. This means sleep isn't the challenge. Access to sleep is the challenge. Your body knows perfectly well how to sleep. What's preventing sleep isn't ignorance or inability. It's active blocking from alertness systems that won't stand down. The solution isn't learning new skills. It's removing obstacles that block an automatic process. Your body wants to sleep. Your brain won't let it yet. Understanding this distinction changes how you approach the situation. Paradoxically, accepting that you might not sleep often helps sleep arrive. When you're desperately trying to sleep, your effort creates monitoring and evaluation, cognitive activities that maintain alertness. But when you genuinely accept, "I might be awake tonight," and that's okay, the monitoring stops. You're no longer checking if sleep is happening, no longer evaluating your state, no longer creating pressure around outcomes. This acceptance removes one source of alertness. Sometimes that's enough to allow sleep to arrive. It's not a trick or technique. It's genuine acceptance that reduces cognitive activity. Your body has always been ready for rest. Your effort to make rest happen was creating activity that prevented it. Releasing effort creates space for the automatic process to unfold. The body keeps the score, but it also keeps seeking resolution. When you carry unresolved stress, trauma, or emotional pain, your body holds that burden in tension patterns, in nervous system activation, in chronic alertness. This embodied stress creates exhaustion. Your system is constantly working to manage unresolved material. But the same body that carries the burden is also always moving toward healing, always seeking resolution and release. Your exhaustion isn't just depletion. It's your body's way of saying, "We need rest to process this." The alertness isn't just wakefulness. It's your brain saying this isn't resolved yet. Both are true. Both are your system trying to find its way back to balance. The tiredness is real. The inability to rest is real. Both are your body's communication about what it needs. Sleep is an act of surrender, and surrender requires safety. To fall asleep, you must surrender consciousness, control, vigilance, and awareness. This is profound vulnerability. Your conscious mind must agree to temporarily cease existing. This only happens when some part of you assesses that surrendering is safe. For people whose histories taught them that vulnerability carries risk, this surrender can feel threatening, even in objectively safe circumstances. Your body is exhausted and wants the relief of surrender. Your protective systems won't allow vulnerability until safety is fully established. The conflict between need and protection creates the mismatch. Rest requires giving up control. Your history taught you that giving up control isn't always safe. The exhaustion mounts while the protection holds firm. Your nervous system responds to rhythm and repetition more than to conscious intention. You can't think yourself to sleep. Thought is wakefulness. But you can create conditions that allow sleep to arrive naturally. Rhythm and repetition. Consistent bedtimes. Repeated rituals. Rhythmic breathing. To provide structure that helps your nervous system down-regulate. These aren't tricks to force sleep, but invitations to your system to shift states. Your body responds to patterns. Regular timing signals, this is when we rest. Repeated rituals signal the day is complete. Rhythmic breathing signals urgency has passed. These signals speak to automatic systems that don't respond to conscious commands. Your willpower can't create sleep, but your patterns can create conditions where sleep becomes possible. The goal isn't to eliminate all thoughts, but to change your relationship with them. Trying to stop thinking is itself a thought process that maintains alertness. But thoughts lose their power to keep you awake when you stop treating them as problems to solve, threats to manage, or signals that require action. When a worry thought arises, instead of engaging with it or trying to suppress it, you can simply notice that's a thought and let it be there without acting on it. This non-engagement doesn't make thoughts disappear, but it stops them from generating action and alertness. Your body can rest even while thoughts drift through awareness, as long as you're not engaging with them as urgent concerns requiring immediate attention. Sleep hygiene advice often doesn't address the core issue because it focuses on the body while the challenge is in the nervous system. You can have a perfect sleep environment. Dark, cool, quiet, comfortable bed, and still lie awake if your nervous system is activated. You can follow all the behavioral recommendations. No screens, no caffeine, consistent schedule, and still struggle if your threat detection systems won't stand down. Sleep hygiene creates optimal conditions for rest. But conditions aren't the same as capacity. Your body might be in ideal physical circumstances for sleep. If your nervous system hasn't shifted into a state where sleep is permitted, the perfect environment sits unused. The exhaustion is mounting in ideal conditions. The alertness persists despite optimal circumstances. Sometimes, exhaustion needs to be witnessed before it can release. Your body's fatigue might need acknowledgement before permission to rest can be granted. Not fixing, not analyzing, not solving. Just simple recognition. I'm tired. This has been challenging. My body needs rest. This acknowledgement can be surprisingly powerful. It validates what your body is experiencing, rather than arguing with it or demanding it perform differently. Your system has been signaling exhaustion, perhaps for a long time. When that signal is finally heard and acknowledged rather than overridden or dismissed, sometimes the holding can release slightly. The body has been trying to communicate. Being heard allows some of the tension in that communication to ease. Yes, you can feel drained while your body won't rest. And now you understand why, deeply. Physical exhaustion and mental alertness are separate systems running different programs based on different information. Your body accumulates fatigue through genuine depletion, energy used, tissues needing attention, cellular processes requiring repair. This creates sleep pressure, drowsiness, heavy limbs, deep tiredness. But your brain maintains alertness through perceived necessity, concerns to monitor, problems to consider, emotions to process, vigilance to maintain. This creates wakefulness through stress chemicals, activated neural networks, and sympathetic nervous system dominance. Both are completely real. Both are happening simultaneously. The mismatch isn't imagined or exaggerated. It's your design responding to conditions it interprets as requiring both exhaustion and alertness at once. The real change isn't in your body learning to rest. It's in your brain learning that rest is safe. Your body already knows how to rest. It's been trying to rest. The exhaustion is its constant signal that rest is needed. But your brain has been blocking rest because some part of your nervous system doesn't yet believe rest is fully safe, appropriate, or allowable. This belief might be unconscious, automatic, historical. It might stem from current stresses or ancient patterns. But until this belief shifts, until your brain receives evidence that vigilance can be released, that concerns can wait, that vulnerability is acceptable, the blocking continues. The solution isn't fixing your sleep. It's helping your nervous system feel safe enough to allow the sleep your body is desperately seeking. Your body trusts rhythm more than reasoning. You can't convince yourself to feel safe through logical arguments. Your conscious mind might know you're safe, but your nervous system operates below conscious reasoning. It responds to experience, to consistency, to repeated evidence. When the same calming sequence happens night after night, same time, same rituals, same environment, your nervous system begins to recognize the pattern, not through thought but through repetition. This pattern becomes associated with survival. You've done this before and woken up safely. Over time, the pattern itself becomes a safety signal. Your body learns this is what we do before rest, and rest has been safe. Rhythm teaches what reasoning cannot. The mind creates stories about why you can't sleep, but often the real reason is much simpler. Your nervous system is activated and hasn't received a clear signal to deactivate. You might tell yourself you can't sleep because of specific worries, because of your personality, because something is wrong with you. These stories feel true and create more concern, but underneath the stories is often something more basic. Your sympathetic nervous system is running. Your stress chemicals are elevated. Your threat detection is active. These are physical states, not permanent traits. They can shift when conditions change. The exhaustion is real. The activation is real. The stories about why add difficulty to an already challenging situation. Sometimes the most helpful truth is the simplest. Your system is activated and needs signals of safety to deactivate. Sleep becomes possible when doing finally transforms into being. All day, you've been doing, working, managing, solving, trying, controlling. These modes require activation and effort. Sleep requires the opposite state, being without doing, existing without effort, presence without control. The transition from one to the other is where sleep lives. Your exhaustion comes from doing. Your alertness comes from believing you must keep doing. The permission to simply be, without agenda or effort, is what allows the transition. Your body has been being, just existing in fatigue, ready to rest. Your mind has been doing, solving, monitoring, protecting. When doing can release into being, when effort can yield to existence, sleep becomes accessible. Your breath is a bridge between conscious control and automatic release. Breathing is unique. It happens automatically without thought. But you can also control it consciously. This makes it a tool for influencing systems you can't directly control. When you breathe slowly and deeply, especially emphasizing longer exhales, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. You can't consciously command your parasympathetic system to turn on, but you can breathe in a pattern that triggers it automatically. Your conscious mind uses the breath to send signals to unconscious systems. Slow breathing tells your nervous system urgency has passed. Vigilance can ease. Your exhausted body responds with relief. Your alert mind follows the signal the breath provides. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is stop trying to fix your tiredness. The effort to fix, to manage, to control your sleep keeps you in doing mode, which isn't compatible with rest. Every technique you try, every intervention you attempt, every strategy you employ requires mental activation. You're solving, which means you're engaged, which means you're not resting. This doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing that sometimes the solution is to stop solving. Your body wants rest. Your effort to create rest prevents rest. The exhaustion is asking for help. The help is to stop helping and simply allow. This paradox can be challenging to accept, but acceptance might be the intervention that finally works. Your body doesn't judge how long you've been awake or how well you've slept. It simply continues offering the possibility of rest. Even after nights or weeks of poor sleep, your sleep system hasn't given up or broken. It's still there, still functioning, still ready to create sleep when conditions allow. The capacity for rest hasn't been lost or damaged. It's been blocked, but it remains intact. This is quietly hopeful information. You haven't broken your sleep system. Access to it has been prevented by activation that can potentially shift. The exhaustion you feel is real depletion, but the system that creates rest is still present, still functional, still waiting patiently for the activation to ease enough to allow its work to begin. Peace isn't the absence of tiredness. It's the acceptance of your current state without struggle. Right now, you might be exhausted. You might be unable to sleep. Both might be true simultaneously. Peace doesn't mean fixing this situation. It means being with it without adding the layer of struggle, resistance, or self-judgment. Your body is exhausted. You can be with that rather than fighting it. Your mind is alert. You can notice that rather than trying to force it to change. This acceptance doesn't perpetuate the challenge. It removes one source of activation, the stress of struggling with your experience. Sometimes the last block to rest is the fight against sleeplessness itself. When that fight softens, rest finds its way in. Each exhale is a small practice of letting go. Breathing in is gathering, holding, taking in. Breathing out is releasing, surrendering, letting go. Every exhale is an opportunity to release a little more. Tension, control, effort, thoughts. You've exhaled thousands of times today. Each one was a tiny moment of letting go. Sleep is an extended exhale, a sustained letting go that continues into unconsciousness. Your body has been practicing all day. It knows how to release. Now it's asking permission to extend that release beyond one breath into sustained rest. Your mind has been holding on. Each exhale offers practice in releasing that hold, preparing for the larger release of sleep. You are more than your exhaustion, and you are more than your wakefulness. Right now, you might feel defined by tiredness that won't resolve, by nights of interrupted sleep, by days of dragging fatigue. This experience is real and deserves acknowledgement, but it isn't your total identity. Beneath the exhaustion and the wakefulness is the awareness that notices both. That awareness, the part of you that observes I'm tired and I'm awake, remains stable even while tiredness and wakefulness fluctuate. Connecting with that observing awareness, even briefly, can create a small space of peace within the struggle. You're not fixing anything by noticing this. You're just recognizing that you're larger than the challenge you're experiencing. Rest happens in the space between effort and surrender, in the moment when trying finally yields to allowing. You can't force this moment to arrive through more trying. That's still effort. But you can notice when effort begins to soften on its own. When holding begins to release naturally. This isn't failure. It's not giving up. It's the natural completion of effort's arc. Every wave of trying eventually peaks and begins to fall. In that falling, in that release, rest becomes possible. Your effort to sleep has been genuine and strong. If it softens now, that's not defeat. That's the allowing your body has been waiting for. Sleep will come because it always does, eventually. Exhaustion ultimately overwhelms alertness through sheer accumulation. Your body will claim the rest it needs, even if only in brief increments at first. This understanding itself is a form of allowing. By seeing the disagreement clearly, you've already begun softening it. Knowledge creates space. Space creates possibility. This isn't comfort if you're struggling now, but it's truth. You will sleep again. Your system hasn't lost the capacity. It's experiencing challenges with access, but the function remains. The exhaustion is temporary even when it feels permanent. The alertness is intense even when it will eventually ease. Right now might be difficult. Tomorrow might be challenging, but neither determines forever. Rest will return because your body never stops offering it. The answer we've been building toward isn't a technique or a fix. It's an understanding. You feel drained, but your body won't rest because two systems disagree about what's safe and what's needed. Your body knows rest is urgently required and signals exhaustion constantly. Your brain detects unfinished business, unresolved emotions, potential concerns, and maintains alertness accordingly. Both assessments are valid responses to the information each system is processing. The solution isn't overriding one system to satisfy the other. It's helping both systems reach agreement, providing your brain with evidence that rest is safe, that vigilance can ease, that vulnerability is acceptable, while honoring your body's deep need for repair and restoration. This agreement doesn't always happen quickly, but understanding the disagreement is where resolution begins. The real change isn't in your exhaustion or your alertness. It's in you. You're learning that the mismatch between body and brain isn't weakness or failure. It's your nervous system responding to conditions with the protective strategies it developed for survival. You're understanding that rest isn't earned through being tired enough. It's allowed through feeling safe enough. You're recognizing that sleep happens not through control but through surrender. Not through doing but through being. You're discovering that your body has never stopped offering rest, and your brain has never stopped trying to protect you. Both deserve compassion. The exhaustion is asking for care. The alertness is offering protection. When both can be held with kindness rather than frustration. When both can be understood rather than judged. The disagreement begins to soften. Sleep isn't something you achieve. It's something you allow. And allowing begins with understanding. And so, our quiet journey through exhaustion and wakefulness comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from the paradox of tired bodies and alert minds to the chemistry of two systems disagreeing, discovering along the way that rest isn't earned. It's allowed. From physical depletion to mental vigilance, from sleep pressure to safety assessment, we've glimpsed how exhaustion and alertness are both protective responses, both valid, both seeking what's best for you. This journey reminds us that sometimes the conflict isn't between right and wrong, but between two different kinds of right. Your body is right that rest is desperately needed. Your brain is right that something feels unresolved. Much of healing happens in honoring both truths, in making space for both exhaustion and alertness without judging either, by pausing to notice rather than fix, to understand rather than override. We glimpse that the challenge isn't broken sleep, it's blocked access. And blocks can soften. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can, as deep as possible. Think about unity of every struggle and every rest. every exhaustion and every wakefulness. You are not separate from this cycle. You are a link in the endless chain of being. Think about consciousness itself. Yours. Mine. Everyone listening. All awareness everywhere. Perhaps all connected in ways we don't yet understand. You are not alone in the universe of minds. Let your entire being dissolve into the ocean of consciousness, into dreamless rest, into the space before thought. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left. Only peace. If this thoughtful exploration of mind and rest helped you understand your own exhaustion, or brought you closer to peace tonight, a gentle like, subscribe, or sharing your experience could help another sleepless soul discover this understanding too. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight. Further than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of exhaustion and alertness to fade now, like morning mist dissolving in sunlight, leaving only the gentle calm behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier, as if the earth itself is holding you safely, requiring nothing, expecting nothing, just offering support. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a river carrying leaves, smoothly, inevitably, into a realm where time and weight no longer matter. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, your body will still need rest. Your brain will still try to protect you. But tonight belongs to this moment of stillness, to this breath, to this gentle allowing. Rest well, tired soul, and remember, your exhaustion is real. Your alertness is real, and both are your body's way of trying to care for you. They will find their agreement. For now, just breathe. Dream deeper with bedtime science. Relax, listen, and drift into sleep. Good night.